All right. Hello, everyone. Wow, that was so much fun seeing it where everybody is from. Hello from Northwest Arkansas. My name is Leigh Ralston, also known as Mommy Leigh. And it's time for another fun hour of learning here with Michaels and Faber-Castell USA. And I'm so glad that there's a lot of us here. So thank you so much for joining us today. Super exciting. While I was waiting for you guys to come in, I was actually doing a little bit of practice. September 22 is the official first day of fall here in the US, and I'm super excited. I just love fall. Last week, we did a pumpkin drawing. We turned it into a character, and I think I named it, a lot of you guys helped me name our character. So I think it was Polly. I think Polly is her name. It's in my journal. So I kept it in my journal. But I'm going to head over to the overhead. I'm going to switch so we can get this class started. Okay. All right. Okay. So super exciting. Look at all these cuteness over here. Everything looks super cute. This is what we're going to draw today. So we're going to doodle. Okay, so first of all, so is it 22nd, September 22nd? I believe so. Okay, so when you're doodling, see here, let me just flip through a little bit here. Okay, so this is what we doodled. Usually when I doodle, all right, I just go straight for my marker. I don't overthink things. Now, if I am going to be working on a series illustration, even if it's just, it looks like this, because this is my style of artwork, I would use usually pencil and of course eraser. But when I'm doodling in my journal and just, pages like this, scratch pages like this, I would just go straight to my marker and just kind of start doodling away. If you're going to tell me right now that you don't know how to doodle, trust me, by the end of this, you're going to realize that you actually do know how to doodle because it's super easy. It's not supposed to be complicated. We're not going to complicate things and we're just going to have fun. Okay, but before we get started, I always like to do this because I will tell you why it's super important to kind of get your hands and your brains coordinated with your, before you start doodling. And you can just make, when I'm doing a mixed media journal, I like to call this like mark making, so it's simple as making simple shapes. I mean, circles. We can start with just circles like this, small, medium, overstretched, kind of like an oval, long and skinny, just different types of circles. Just make on one side of your paper or your journal today. So today I am using the Faber-Castell PITT Artist brush. The PITT Artist pens in black comes in many different tips. But the colored ones, it comes in 60 colors. The brush tip itself. Now the black, it comes with many different tips. It has like the medium, it has a 1.5 or the bullet tip. It has a chisel, it has a soft chisel, it has a brush, a soft brush. It has a fine, super fine. But today I'm not going to use the black because I want this doodle to be more softer. So not so harsh with the lines. So I'm using the 175, or I might actually grab the 178 as well, but just a soft brown. But this is just personal preference, of course. All right, so once you're done with your circles, you can also just like an X. So it's just mark making. Longer ones, so you're practicing your lines here too. Notice it, you're doing diagonal lines, then you can add lines. That. So vertical, horizontal, make some diagonal. And this is just really kind of like, before you start your workout, you stretch first. So this is for stretching, or you can even call it your cardio. So after that, you can make like small triangles, longer ones. Really cool stretched ones like that. You can make rectangles. And you know, when you're doing all of these, you have no idea, but your brain and your hands are actually, you know, talking to each other and say, oh, okay, it's getting more relaxed. Your brain is more in the moment. You're not overthinking things because you're just mark making. I want you to make like half circles like this. Upside down frown and a smile. And then you can work on your wiggly lines too. Like that. Now, when I'm using a brush pen or a brush marker, it is important to understand your tool. So with this brush pen, the reason why I love it, because I can get thin and thick lines. Because by using the tip of the pen, I can make thinner strokes like this, and also applying very light pressure, then I can get thin strokes. If I apply pressure and using the body of my pen, I can create bigger strokes like this, right? And this is just a personal preference. You don't have to use a brush pen today, but maybe you'll fall in love with this look as well. This is kind of like my signature look. As much as I love the clean lines that the thin tips of the other pens offer, I just love the thin and thick that I can get from a brush pen like that. All right. So now that we have done our exercises, we're going to proceed with our drawing. I have here some samples. You don't have to print your sheets today just to do our workshops, because this workshop with us, because we're going to be creating more fun things. You can use your worksheet at home, practice it, and then you can, you know, keep practicing those doodles. But today I want you to draw with me. I want you to take any stress out from your head, and we're just going to have fun today. So fall, when I think about fall, is anybody here a big fan of pumpkin spice? I might say that, I have to say that I don't think I'm a big fan of it, but I don't mind having it maybe once or twice every fall. I love mushrooms. I love the leaves, the ever-changing leaves. So that's why I have different colors. And here I have some green tones, a lighter green, I have a darker, I have some pink, 3 different values of orange color. I have a deeper kind of like red, a plum burgundy color in here, and a purple. Maybe we'll use all that, but we'll see. All right, so we're going to make a coffee first, okay, or whatever it is. It can be a hot beverage, so it can be tea if you're not a coffee drinker. For this one, simple, we're going to make 2 diagonal lines. So coffee, think about, visualize the coffee first. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, really? Ooh. So kind of like this. Oh, the smell though, it smells really, really good. I have to agree. Pumpkin spice latte smell. All right, and then we're just going to connect those 2 lines. So, and then over here, we're just going to go draw a straight line, or as straight as you can, because I know how hard it is. All right, then we're going to draw another one on top of it. So leave a space in there. That's as straight as I can do it. And then we're just going to close in those 2 lines over there. And then we're going to draw here. And for kawaii, kawaii drawings just means cute in Japanese. So I have to add faces in my drawings. So I'm just going to draw 2 small dots. The smaller the face is, the cuter it is. And I'm going to draw a mouth as well. My mouth is just a letter U, very small. And then close it in. And this time, I'm just going to go from this corner to down, kind of like cutting it in half. Sorry about that. Zoom in. And then I'm just going to color in, shade in that part. Right? So cute. You can, this is optional. You can add your smoke or steam coming out because it's hot. You can add hearts. And I think this is where everything is just going to be cuter when you add a little bit of details, add your own touch. You know, so if you like something like heart or if you want stars in there, add it. And this is how you're going to turn anything cute already by just adding this cute face and just adding hearts in there. Simple, right? Okay. Here you can add patterns inside your coffee cup. You know, this is going to depend on you if you want to add like stripes in there, diagonal in there. I think I'm going to keep mine like that for now. Now we're going to draw another hot beverage, but with whipped cream because yes, I love whipped cream. So this one, remember when we did like an overstretched oval? So, but this one kind of like, think of it as an overstretched letter U, but it's really not. It's most kind of like a curved line, just a very curved line like this, longer. So it's kind of like a smile, a very stretched smile like that. Okay. And then we're going to draw lines going down, but mine, instead of it straight, I kind of curve it just a little bit to make my cup look a little bit rounder. See what I did in there? It's not straight. I didn't go just straight. I kind of like slanted and curving a little bit, right? So I'm going to go from this corner and then try to do the same or as close to as I can get it, like that. And then here we're just going to connect this, close it in. Way. Okay, so for the whipped cream, this one is going to look like this. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to leave just a small gap over there. So from here, I'm going to do this shape like up, down, and then up, and then down. And then I'm going to go again with a space over there, kind of like going up a little bit and repeat that same shape, down and up. Right? And then repeat the same process, but this time I'm going to go up just a little bit. So down and then up just a tiny bit. We're just adding volume to our cream. And then we're going to make the tip this time. So from here, going up again, like that. Stop right there. And I'm going to go bring it down like that. So this area right here where we left a gap, we're just going to go close that in like that. You can do it right there if you have an extra gap on the other side too. And then just fill that in. There we go. And then to create the handle, it's kind of like a reversed C. Just like that. And then this time, kind of like just stretched it over there and I stop right there. So it's like diagonal. And then from here, I'm just going to go draw another reversed C. There we go. And then here you can add pattern inside your cup. I think, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to draw a leaf inside there later, but I'm going to draw a face first. But instead of 2 dots, I'm going to like very happy, smiley eyes. We can't forget the lashes. And then we're going to make our cute smile again. Just like that. And this time I'm just going to fill in this whole letter U over here. All right. Eee, so cute. All right. Okay, zoom out just a tad bit. Okay, so let's make some leaves because this time you can use this to create like borders in your journal or in your card making, whatever project you're working on. Leaves are a good way to kind of like represent the fall, of course. Leaves falling everywhere. All right, so for this one, we're just going to make a diagonal line like this, like that. But see how I have thin and thick because of the pressure that I am applying with my brush pen. If you're not using a brush pen, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so for the leaves, I don't like sharp lines. As you've noticed in my drawings, everything's kind of like on the round side, but this is like my kawaii style. Doesn't have too much of a straight lines and doesn't have a lot of sharp lines here. Everything's kind of like on the chubby side. Everything looks so cute. Okay, so we have this one. For the leaves, we're gonna start with, it's kind of like this. So up and then down, and you stop in there. See, this one's kind of like a hook. Like that. So we're going to repeat this one, and I'm going to go stretch it out a little bit because I want the middle part to be just a little bit bigger than the first, right? Then we're going to repeat the same process, but this one, it's going to go stay in the middle. And then I will pick it up from here and I'll go down like this, kind of like copy, but reversed what we did on the other side. Like that. And then there. And I want to add a little bit more there. And then you can just add your lines or the veins of your leaves. All right. We can draw another one. Instead of facing it this way, I'm going to face it this way. So the opposite, like this. And I'm going to copy that same one, but I'm going to start really small this time. Smaller. Stretch it. Keeps getting wider and bigger. Okay. This time. And if you're having an issue or trouble, remember you can always move your notebooks or your paper to the side. And this always helps me. It's like if I have to adjust and tilt your paper this way, so it'll be easier to do that reversed drawing on the other side. There. I feel like this part is super small and this one is super wide, but it's okay. Just adding my veins this way. And then of course you can just add your normal leaves, just diagonal lines like that. And then that way. Super cute. All right, this one, we're gonna make a pie. Super easy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a frown or an upside down smile. So from here, like that. And then remember those half circles that we created earlier. We're gonna make a scallop over here, so very small. Kind of like be mindful with your spacing or how stretched your half circles will be. I'm just going to close it in and add another one over there. Right? Okay, so this one we're going to add just 2 lines. And then we're going to close it in. Make those 2 lines meet like that. All right. And then we're going to add like a teardrop. We're going to add 3 in here. So left, middle part, and then the right side. And then we're going to add a cute face. Stay calm, eat a pie. She's like, no, don't eat me. And then again, adding my cute smile right there. There. Ah, so cute. We have to make another pumpkin. Let's make another cute pumpkin here. So so when you're doing this, for example, you're doing this on a, in your journals. So you can use your leaves to create kind of like a border on one side. What you can do is you can use your pencil first because you can erase this later. So kind of like create your, small create a circle and then follow along that circle to make your wreath. So, you know, that's always useful. So practice your leaves in there and then create your own wreath like that. All right, so let's make a mushroom first. So like what we did with the pie, it's the same thing that we're going to do with a mushroom, but then this is my preferred shape of my mushroom. You can play around with your shape. You don't have to do exactly as I'm doing. You kind of like, you can make your mushroom a little, you know, pointier on the top like this, you know, so you don't have to copy the frown and make it like overstretched like that. You can make it pointier. So it depends on you. All right. So I want you to make this and then just kind of like that shape again, or that stroke again. And then we're going to do the stalk. Just adding this. So thin to thick. It's going to go from the thin, and then you're going to add over here, the base of the mushroom. And you can just do it like that. And then here, we're going to draw this. So we have the under. For this time, what I'd like to do here is, I'm just going to go closer here. See how I did? I started from the middle part and I kind of like going up. So you're going to create this visual. So everything will start here in the middle, or I guess the best that we can. And we're just adding this lines like that. If you want more lines, then make your lines thinner. If you want less, then make your spacing a little bit wider. Cute. Then you can add your marks of the mushroom. I just like simple, and I like to do the rules of 3. So just add there, here. You can make your face over here on the top part of the drawing, or you can make it the bottom. So be mindful that you're going to add your cute face in there, so make sure you leave enough space in the middle part. You can add as much patterns inside, or you can do as little as you'd like. Do this mouth. And then you can make another one beside your mushroom. It's like a different shape. This one's more stubbier. And I think I'm not going to add the inside of the mushroom this time, because this one you can see the inside. This one is just for like a point of view. And then I'm going to make my markings with the wiggly lines instead of just oval shapes. And I'm going to make this one a little grumpy. Like, what are you so happy about? You can play around with the expressions, and I think that's the cutest part of it. It's like you can make different expressions with your characters, makes it very interesting. And here you can just add cute weeds. One thing you're going to notice, the more you doodle or the more you draw like this, you realize that it's just really basic shapes that we're using. It's like, oh, it's just this. It's just adding this and adding that. I think becoming an adult, I think we try to overcomplicate things, and I'm very, very much guilty of that. It's like when I look at something and I'm going to try and draw it, it's like, I can't do that. I can't draw anything like that. But when I try to strip that overwhelmness, I think that's when I see basic shapes again, and then I turn everything into this kawaii characters, and everything's simple, and it makes it so much fun. Right. So the way I make my pumpkins, right, it might be a little difficult to do this without just starting from a basic circle first or an oval. But it's really simple. I think it just takes a little bit of practice. Remember, I'm drawing every day. So, you know, it's different. You know, your first try might not look the same as mine, and it's okay. But just try and practice every day. So like I have this basic, you know, upside down smile again. And then from here, I'm just going to go stretch it and go there. And I'm going to repeat that same process, but of course, the opposite side, like that. So I started with this, and I already did 2 cheeks on the side, and then I'm going to go close this in and just going to add this smile. So frown, 2 cheeks, and then smile. And then we're going to add this stalk of the pumpkin like that. And then I'm just going to add again 2 of these shapes like that over there. And then from here, you can make this, you can make it as long or short. You can add your leaves in here. Like that. So I'm just going to add, copy what I did in there. So just add 2 leaves on this side too. And then you can add your lines of your pumpkin. So from here, you can just start. I like to kind of like not have straight lines or connected lines. Sometimes I kind of leave gaps just to add a little visual interest in there. Like that. And see, sometimes it's like I play around with the pressure with my brush pen. And so there's lines that are thinner than the others. There are some strokes that are much thicker than the others. And that's why I really, really enjoy using a brush pen when I am doodling. It just takes a little bit of getting used to because it takes practice. But I think with everything, you're just going to have to get to know your pen or your tools when you're drawing like this. Well, I don't like it because there's a line in there, so I'm just going to fill the whole mouth in. Ah, everything looks super cute. Okay, so are we ready to color? What else? Do you want to know how to draw this little cute bear with a scarf? Because we need scarf for fall. Okay, we can do the whipped cream again. Absolutely. Let's try and do the whipped cream. I'm going to make it over here so I can have like a skinny, tall beverage with the whipped cream. So I started with this first. So kind of like, remember, this is going to be the shape of your whole coffee or coffee cup. And I'm just going to stretch it down, make this one tall. That. And then connect this line over here. Like that. All right. So for the whipped cream, let me do the shape here. So kind of like from here to this. So see, it's just this shape. So like that. Let's try that again. Then we're going to add, it's kind of like a ladder. You're going up. Okay. So you can make it as tall as you'd like. Whoops. And then you kind of just go up like that. And let add a little bit of tail in there. And that's the tip of your whipped cream. Or maybe you can put it on the other side if you'd like. So just keep adding your line. Ooh, you can't. I got so used to it facing to the left. Maybe I can try it again. It's going to look so odd. No, well, it doesn't really, but that's it. You can also face it to the right if you'd like. I just gotten so used to facing it to the left. Now I'm going to apply it here. So here, I'm just going to add those strokes. 1, how about we'll make this super tall? 2, 3, 4, tip. Ew. And then just going to fill that in right there. Haha. So cute. then let's draw a pumpkin on the inside of this one. I think that'll be cute. So for this one, you don't have to make it like this because there's a lot of strokes involved in there. You can just make it as like this, like that pumpkin shape, see? Because we're making a very small drawing here. And then I'm just gonna add the lines. So we just know that that's a pumpkin. There we go. Now I'm just gonna add my cute faces. There. Okay, last, we're gonna make our bear with our scarf. Okay, so this one, how am I gonna teach this one? But first, we're gonna draw the bear first. So we're gonna draw this shape. So it's kind of like the frown again. Notice I always start with very, very similar strokes because it's always just like this. And kind of like the same thing, we're gonna add 2 ears. On both ends. And we're going to add the insides for our ears. So just a smaller, the same shape, like that. So for this one, we're going to make it like a smile, but we're going to stop right there in the middle, almost like in the middle. This is where you decide where you want it. You can be on this side. You can stretch it right there if you'd like, because this is where we're going to add our the other part of the scarf hanging. So from here, I'm going to go start here and kind of loop down and then just go down like that. So it's kind of like we're adding a hook like this. Okay. And then, so from here, like that, I'll add the other end. Right? So we're just going to close this part right here. And then we're just going to connect that line. So from here, as you've noticed, I have a little bit of that stroke. Let me zoom in real quick. Just a little bit of this stroke hanging on the side. I'm going to go stretch from there to there. I'm just going to go do this and do that. And I'm going to go repeat and close it in. So everything about me is when I'm drawing, everything's kind of like slanted or more on the diagonal, more curving instead of just one sharp straight lines. And here we can just add, oops, that. We can make it as simple as we can. Because I think with kawaii, very few lines, but everything is just so cute. It's not so many things going on. It's not like that. Everything's clean lines and all that. So with your bear, now you can play around with your facial expressions if you'd like. You can just do the 2-dot smile, 2-dot eyes, or you can do your lashes long. I think I created this character, this bear character, and I call her Pinky. And she's always just have this 2-dot eyes. And she's okay. I can just imagine her happy. Now with the nose, I always like things when they're smaller. So look at how tiny my nose is. It's just a small curve. It's like a small smile. And then I kind of like, instead of one, like how we used to do our smile, you know, how our mouth, you know, it's like this, right? But instead of just straight line, I kind of curve things a little bit. So you do your small smile like this, you kind of curve just a tiny bit, or curve a little bit more, and then just add that tip. So practice around, notice what you like and what you don't like, because this is going to be your drawing. This is going to be your journal. So, you know, the more you practice, it's like, oh, you know what? I like it when her nose is just oval, and that's fine too. Or I like it when it's like actually more triangle, you know, then do that, but play around. So to me, I just really like it like this. And I just add one small straight line down there. See how cute Pinky is? So cute. And then here you can just add patterns in here. You can add dots, you can add small leaves inside, you know, so super, super duper duper simple. All right, so we did our mushrooms, we did coffee, we did our leaves. Now it's time to color them in. Okay, so today I will be using the PITT Artist in different colors, and I'm going to pull out some colors in here that I really like. I have the beige red in 132. I think I like my mushroom to be this color, and I will use the coral 131 for this one mushroom. So I always start with my light color. Faber-Castell's PITT Artist pens are India ink, water-based India ink. So it means that when it's wet, you can actually use some water if you have a water brush. If the ink is still very wet on your paper, then you can blend with that. But the thing with the PITT Artist is, the reason why I love it also is that it dries fast, because I'm an impatient artist. And so I kind of like just start going in and putting in more colors and more colors. So I smudge things a lot, but with the PITT Artist, it kind of like, whew, it's my best friend, because I don't smudge too much using it, because this really dries. Since once it's dry, it is waterproof. So you can use this for your line art if you're using watercolors, or if you're using other products that are water-based, like the gelatos, water soluble, medium, then you can definitely use this. Okay, so that's the beige red 132. Now, how I'm going to add shading to this is that I'm just going to go imagine that my light source is coming from here, from my top right. So my pretty sun is here. So basically everything's like shining here. So all of my top right is going to be very light, and this one has to be a little dark. I love to actually use colored pencils to add details most of the time. But I'm going to go do this workshop just with the PITT Artist, because it's fun and the colors are super vibrant as well. Well, I tell you what, next month we'll be doing a lot of drawings about Halloween, and we're going to do some cute witches and kawaii and all that fun stuff. So please always watch out for what's the next class. I don't have my schedule here, but maybe Miss Krista from Faber-Castell has it and she can share it with you guys. But we have a lot of fun class happening next month and October as well. The closer we get to Halloween, ooh, we have lots of projects. So I'm just, since my marker is still, the ink is still wet in here, I'm just kind of like blending those two colors together as best as I can. And I'm just going to stop right here. I keep stretching. There. I'm just going to stop right there. Like that. And then for the inside of my markings, I'm actually going to use a really light blue just to kind of like make a border around it to make it even, to make it pop even more, the white. It's kind of like it creates this visual trick in my head that when I see the light blue, I know that what's inside that light blue is white. So yeah, that's one thing I like to do. Okay, so for the inside, I'm going to use actually a very light brown. So this one is the Raw Umber 180. Just going to fill that in. So you can always color in your doodles with, I don't know, colors, colored pencils, watercolors. It's super fun because the more you doodle, you're actually creating your own coloring pages. Isn't that super cool? So I just, did you see me? I used the Raw Umber 180 and kind of like did the strokes, and then I pulled out the beige red 132 and kind of blend those two colors together. Everything is just darker here, and then here is light. Super cute. And then we're just going to add the permanent green olive 167 for our grass. Like that. And since I have you, I'm just going to color you in real quick. And then I'll repeat the same process with how I did that so you guys can see that again. So raw umber, and just making this stroke like that. I'm doing it halfway. And then we're going to do the beige red again, kind of like going from here and just kind of moving those colors and blending them together. So pretty. And then this time I'm going to use the pink carmine in, oops, what is this? 127. And the pink Madder Lake in 129. So this time I'm going to have the pink and we're going to go color it in. And of course, I have never seen a pink mushroom before, but I love pink, so I am just going to turn her into pink. Why are you so mad or sad? Create this. And then, coloring in, baby. So just be careful. Don't be like me. Sometimes I'm so careless. And then I'm going to grab this red color. I love making shadows and highlights in my color when I'm coloring because it really makes my drawings so much more 3D or like alive. It's like a real cartoon right in front of me. And while it's still wet, I'm just going to grab those colors and blend that pink carmine. And just go up again. Oh, I stay quiet when I'm coloring. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so in the moment. When I'm coloring, and sometimes I forget, I am with all of you. And of course, I colored everything in already. Look at me. I'm such a mess. So I'm just going to color it in with that same blue. Oops. It's okay. You're so cute. Super cute. And this trick works for the whipped cream too. This is the technique that I really love using with the whipped cream. So if you have like a colored pencil, you can do this and create that, color that in and just create that border. Because white doesn't really have color, but the more you put in that very, very light blue, you're not going to see it because it's super duper light, but I did have some blue in there. Oh yeah, we can definitely make an acorn real quick, but I'm just going to color in the rest of my coffee first, okay? And then we'll color it out. So I'm going to use the dark chrome yellow for my pumpkin over here. Just going to use that. And for all the mouths that have this little tiny tongue sticking out, I'm just going to color them in already. So we can go move quickly like that. And then once I have the brown, we can color this in orange. I think I'm going to make it darker orange this time. Ooh, this is really bright orange though. Yeah, I don't necessarily like that. So we can start with the brown. Oh, this golden yellow. I like this one, the green gold. Yeah, definitely. So this is the green gold 268. I think this is one of my favorite color. And the PITT artist, I really, really love this. like a mustard yellow. It's just super perfect. Let's just go one stroke after the other. Sometimes I get in a hurry when we're doing this class because I want to cover as much as I can. And then it ends up getting messy, but we're going to make it cute like this. Eee. Then I think I'm going to use the light yellow again, the dark chrome yellow 109 for the base, or I think I'm going to use, what did you think I should use? I think I'm going to use the pink carmine 127. Okay. All right. Yeah, great choice. There. I'm just going to add a little bit of blush with that same color. This is pink carmine 127. So cute. I'm going to use that orange right there, the dark chrome yellow there. Everything looks so cute. Orange pie. Yummy. All right, so let's draw a quick acorn so you guys can see, because acorns are so cute. Remember how we started our pie? It really is just almost the same, but you can play around with the shape of this one. You can make it like little pointier or skinnier or as wide as you would like. So we're just going to do this. Same as our pie. All right. And this one, instead of a smile, we're kind of like this slanted here. Kind of over. It's kind of like a helmet. And then we're just going to add a cute face now. Like this. I like to add that little tiny thing sticking like that. And then there. Eee. And then this time you can add like scallops inside. You can add diagonal lines. I think I like mine when it's super cute when I have like tiny scallops. Remember when we did the pie earlier? Same thing. So just be mindful of the spacing of your scallops or your smile. And then we're just going to fill this in there. Just keep repeating the same process until you fill the whole space. Cute. And then I'm going to add my face. Ah! Super cute. Oh. Okay. Now we're going to go color in one leaf so you guys can see how I'm going to color the leaves. We did last week the pumpkins. So if you'd like to see how I color my pumpkins, you can go on Michael's YouTube channel and look up our last video that we created with Faber-Castell. So this one, I want that, that yellow, orange, dark red color for my leaves, you know, that perfect fall color. So I want to add, okay, so we're going to use the light green 171. I am going to use between scarlet red, orange glaze, and the pink carmine as well. Okay, so I'm just going to color this part in. This will be my highlights or the green parts of my leaves. I'm just going to fill this part in. All right, that's green. I'm going to go to my next color, orange. Where that green stopped, I'm just going to go pull that color in. So I'm making a little bit larger strokes here. I'm going to use the scarlet red this time, and where that orange stopped right there. Just going to get those colors. And then pink carmine. Okay. And then I'm going to go again with my light green. I'm just going to go over this part with the two colors, the orange. You can actually do a tip-to-tip action. And don't worry, you're not hurting your pen, because if you just draw a little bit more, then you're going to get those ink, the other ink out. But this is like a dirty ombre. You can go from light to orange easily too. So another way you can color in is just use two colors. So much easier blending like that. Get your darker orange. Like this. And go back to your light orange again. And pull those dark orange, putting them on top. So creating a pretty, very easy, actually, gradient like that. Look at that. Super simple. You can create this yellow. So again, two colors, just blend with two colors. You can fill the top part. Star. Like that. Go ahead with my orange. By using the base of my brush pen, I can fill in more colors by applying pressure. So I'm using the body of the brush. I'm just going to go tip by tip like this. So I don't have harsh lines. Hey, pretty. Oh, I'm super excited for fall. Oh, wow, I'm almost done. I'm just going to add that light. This was the light indigo. This is my favorite to use when I'm creating like this borders around my white images like that. And then for the cup, you don't have, sometimes you don't need to color the whole image. You can add like patterns like this. And I think it adds just this different visual. You know, you can have many different looks by just trying many different things. So just be mindful of the spaces. And that's it. Look how cute that is. I hope you had so much fun today with us. I know I did. I really did. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can find me online at Mommy Lay, and I'd love to stay in touch with you guys. I'd love to see your progress. If you were drawing along with me today, like you can tag us at Michael's and at Faber-Castell USA. I would love to see what you created. I hope you will join us again for our future classes, because it's always fun when there's more of us. But again, Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that you were inspired. I hope that it was very insightful. I hope you learned a lot today. And my name is Leigh Ralston. Again, thank you. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.